Hi everybody and welcome to Aquadream. And this month I continue updating my old and retired aquariums, and in today's project we are going to update this huge cube aquarium which I created in November 2022. So it is 2.5 years old already. It's still fine, but I don't like it anymore. Plants are not looking very well and the substrate is very old. It doesn't have any nutrition, so the plants are not growing well. And half of the driftwood which I used for this scape is already melted together with the Anubias that was attached to it. So every time I come to my studio, I see that aquarium and I want to see it new and bright and lush with lots of new and fresh plants. The dimensions of this aquarium are 60 by 60, it's a cube shape, and 40 centimeters in height. The light that I use for that cube aquarium is Weak Aqua T90 light, and I'm still going to use the same light. I'm not going to change that. And I'm also using the filter that I'm going to show you later, because I'm going to update that filter as well. And today's aquarium I want to completely create from scratch again. In my previous update project I didn't touch the first layer for the bacteria, but this time for this aquarium I'm going to remove completely everything from it. So let's look closely at it. So if you watched the build of this aquarium before, you might remember that there was a piece of wood here going here with lots of Anubias on it. So it melted together with the Anubias, and the Anubias didn't look very healthy already, so I just threw it away. I didn't save it. And there was also some Bucephalandra, and after some time the Bucephalandra also unsticked from the rocks, and I didn't stick it again, and because it wasn't stick to the wood and to the rocks, it also didn't grow well. There is still some Cryptocoryne. I'm going to save that Cryptocoryne. Also from my other aquariums where the pearl weed is growing all the time. So I had to put all the cuttings somewhere, and I used that aquarium for these cuttings, and you can see that it's a huge bush here of the pearl weed. I might also save it for the new project. And behind there, if you notice, there is a nano Vallisneria which grows very well in the new aquarium. So I'm going to replant that Vallisneria as a background plant as well, and I hope it will regrow faster and better and will be much dense and healthier look in the new substrate. All the Anubias here looks very old. By the way, this aquarium with no CO2. And so that's why the plants are not looking super healthy after 2.5 years. So I'm not going to save that Anubias. I got a fresh one. I'm going to plant the fresh one. All the nice looking plants I'm going to save, and maybe I will replant them in this project, but I also got so many new plants which I'm going to use. And I got a new piece of wood, and I'm going to show it to you right now. And I think I completely messed with that piece of wood because I didn't measure it. Just by the eye I thought this is just right, the size is not too big. But when I arrived with that piece of wood, I realized that it's quite big. It's same size as the tank. I didn't want to go and find wood for this project, so I'm going to use that one, and I think it will look okay. I'm going to show you now. So guys, that's the piece of wood I'm going to use. That not actually the piece of wood, that's a log. It's actually 60 centimeters wide, same as the aquarium, so it will fit perfectly. And let's see how it looks inside. So to make this piece of wood looking good and fit, I think I'm going to make the foreground completely straight. I'm not going to make it a little bit high at the background. It will be completely straight. Also, first I wanted to also reuse all of these rocks from this scape, but since the wood I got is too big, there is no space for the rocks. I'm going to use only that piece of wood and plants, no rocks. So these rocks I will reuse for another future scape. Alright guys, let's start preparing this tank for the renovation. First I'm going to withdraw all the water and plants, then I'm going to take out the fish and snails, then remove all the old substrate. Here I use the river pebbles as the first layer for the biological filter. I'm going to remove everything, clean the glass, and see you after that. Guys, I no idea how did it get there, but I found a red shrimp. See? Right there, in that corner. Can you see? I found the red shrimp here, the cherry shrimp. How did it get into this aquarium? I never had shrimps here. Now I have one there, and I'm going, of course, to save it. I'm going to put it to one of my nano tanks. Let it live here and there. So I removed all the substrate, all the old substrate, and actually I want to throw it away, but I actually gonna use it for my room plants, my plants in my balcony, and I think they will really love it. And the rest of the river pebbles that were here, I'm going to wash nicely and use it with some new river pebbles that I got for that new project. So let's clean up the rest and finally start the new scape. Oh guys, finally finished cleaning, already tired, but this is only the beginning. The tank is ready, the glass is clean, it's empty, completely empty, so let's get started. The main idea is that big piece of wood in the middle. First layer will be the biological filtration layer with the river pebbles. Then I'm going to put the piece of wood. Let's see how it will look like. I'm curious. Wow guys, I think that piece of wood just fits so well. Actually, I was afraid it's too big, but actually it's good. Look, there is so much space for the plants. Actually, the whole front area is quite big, so I'm going to use some rocks because I thought for the rocks there will not be space. So I'm going to use a few big rocks because the piece of wood is big, so I'm going to use a few very big ones. And yeah, the whole front part here will be planted with the short plants, with the foreground plants, and that background part will be covered with stem plants. And that part here, if you look from another side, if you look from this side, so I'm going to also plant it only with the short plants, foreground plants like this. And here we'll start the stem plants growing. Wow, this piece of wood actually looks so great. I love it. Okay, let's go guys, so much work. Now it is time for the substrate, and actually guys, I remember that if you watched my previous videos, some of my projects I used the coconut fiber for 2 of my projects, for 3 of them. And what I noticed when I used it as a part of the substrate, I noticed that these tanks are the most stable. Like for example, I'm going to show you. For example, this Iwagumi, here I used a thin layer of coconut fiber, and this scape Iwagumi bowl with no filter, no CO2, and it didn't show any sign of algae since the beginning. And the ecosystem here is very stable. I didn't notice any even small issues here since the beginning. And there is another one, or here I used a thin layer of coconut fiber as well, and since the beginning as well, everything is so stable, no algae at all, not even a sign of algae. So I really like it. I don't know if that's the reason, if the coconut fiber is the reason, I don't know, maybe not, but that's just what I noticed. So I'm going to apply that coconut fiber, thin layer of it, and 2 types of substrates as always. Let's go. So guys, we finished with the substrate. That's aquarium soil. I thought I would have enough. I got 8 kilogram and I used all of them, and I needed some extra, so I had to go to the aquarium store quickly and get extra 3 kilogram. It's a little bit different color, it's darker than the previous one, but that's fine. Everything will be covered with the plants, so should be fine. Alright, the substrate is ready. It's time to place some rocks. I'm going to place some rocks near the wood, so I will place the Bucephalandra and Anubias there. Alright guys, now it is time for planting. So this is all I got. I got lots of plants. So for the carpet plants, this time I want to use the Saggitaria like this. This one looks very nice, but this one doesn't look really nice, and I hope it will recover. Actually, I stored it for 3 days under the lid, and I think that's why it got like this, because there was no the air exchange, the oxygen exchange. I think that's why. So I hope in the substrate it will start growing. If not, if this Saggitaria will not recover, I will replace it with the tin nylon, which grows very well, and I often use it for my tanks. Let's see. So all the Cryptocoryne wendtii, the bigger one, the smaller one, Cryptocoryne, Anubias like this big one, some fern, Anubias nano petite, and some Bucephalandra like this, a little bit reddish with a red stem. Yes, I think it's pretty much. And I will use some plants from before. I saved it. So this one is also like a mini Saggitaria here, some of it, and background plants, pearl wheat and mini Vallisneria. I think I'm gonna use both. I will see, and some Cryptocoryne as well. So I'm gonna start with the Cryptocoryne. I'm going to plant all the Cryptocoryne. I have 2 species, and the roots are quite long, so I'm gonna cut the roots to boost its growth like this, yeah? And then I'm going to plant it. We're finished planting Saggitaria and Cryptocoryne. I'm not sure if Saggitaria will adapt to a new environment and will grow well. I don't know, because I don't use Saggitaria much in my scapes, and this time I just wanted to experiment because this tank with no CO2 as well. So let's see. If it doesn't grow well, if it doesn't grow fast, if it doesn't cover all the substrate, then I'm going to, or if it's die, I'm going to replace it with the Tinellum. Tinellum grows very well, and I like this plant. But this time I want to experiment and see if Saggitaria grows well. If you look at some information about Saggitaria, it doesn't require much light, it doesn't require CO2, but requires nutrition substrate, which I got. So let's see how it goes. Now it is time for Anubias and Bucephalandra, and I'm going to place Anubias and Bucephalandra on some of the rocks and of course the wood. So I made this kind of vabikusa, small vabikusas. There were so many of them for Bucephalandra, using a piece of lava rock and the glue. So I glued Bucephalandra to it, and I found it very useful and much more convenient than trying to find the spot in the scape and glue it there. Instead, you just take that piece of lava rock and you place it wherever you want. Guys, that's a big fail. I thought that this big log is heavy enough, and I don't know why, but I thought it won't float. It is heavy enough, but it is trying to float. Thanks God I had time to hold it, so I put that big rock on it to keep it submerged for some time. I think it will take like few months until it completely absorbs water and becomes submerged and it won't float anymore. But for now I'm going to keep that rock, because if it floats, everything is failed. So, and the water is very cloudy right now, you can't really see anything through. I'm going to plant the stem plants at the back there, and we are going to upgrade the filter. Alright guys, this is the filter, and this time I wanna have the biological filtration mostly than mechanical. So I'm gonna use less sponges this time, but more the biological filtration media. I'm going to clean up everything and show you what's inside and what I'm going to put. So guys, there are only 2 containers like this, and here also at the bottom of the filter there are already some media for biological filtration I put before. So the first container I will use for sponges. There are 3 types, like this blue one, this one 6D, and this black one. And I'm going to use that white one. I'm going to put that white one at the bottom first, then that one, all these 3, that's the first one. And the second one I'm going to use only for biological filtration. So I have that media. I will also add these balls, and I also got expanded clay. I also think it's good for the biological filtration, so I'm going to add some of the balls here as well. Alright, I think we're ready. I'm going to set up the filter. I'm going to turn it on, and now it's so late guys, so I'm going home and I'm going to sleep, and I will make the final video when the water is crystal clear and you will see everything much better. Good night. Hi guys, so it's been 6 days since I set up this aquarium, and the water is clear now, and after each water change I added bacteria and water conditioner as I always do. All the plants are adapting to a new environment. Some of the leaves are melting, and you can see that Saggitaria is melting. All the leaves that were in the immersed form, they are melting, and you can see that new leaves appearing. And I was worrying that Saggitaria will not adapt well, and I was worrying that it won't grow, but actually you can see that there are new baby plant is coming out very soon. So it's spreading around, which is a good sign. I can't wait to see its full growth. Here you can see the baby Saggitaria is also next to that big bush. So I'm very happy that it is growing, and new leaves are growing and baby plants, and it's spreading around. Soon it will cover all the foreground, and I think it will look amazing. And I think that new leaves will not be as long as it was before. It will be smaller. It depends on the size of the aquarium, so nature always knows how to change plants depending on the size of the aquarium. In my nano aquariums, the plants are growing much smaller, so because the nature knows that the environment is very small. And so let's see how this Saggitaria will adapt, and how big it will grow. Maybe it will be much smaller than it looks now. Now it looks quite messy, many melting leaves, and also long leaves, short leaves. So it's still a mess. Doesn't look really nice, but soon it will be beautiful, I'm sure. All the Cryptocoryne species, also some of the leaves are melting, but new growth already. I see some new growth, which is also a good sign. I was worrying about that species of because sometimes it's not adapting very well, but because here is a good water flow, he is a big filter, so I think it's going very well. Anubias and Bucephalandra also showing already a new growth, a new young leaves appeared here. You can see that Bucephalandra, you can see that young small leaf is there, which is nice. So it's adapting very well, so no sign of sickness, nothing, very good. This background plant, mini Vallisneria, I added a little bit more. It has been growing a lot in my nano tank, and it was covering the front view of that aquarium. So I removed some of the small parts and I planted it here. And also that mini Vallisneria, which was in the old aquarium, wasn't very bright color. It was looking old because it didn't get enough nutrition from that old substrate. And now it started, I see that it's recovering, it's getting brighter, and some baby plants appeared as well. So soon it will cover all the background. There are enough soil, enough nutrition, so it will grow very well. I'm also concerned about the big species of Anubias like this, because every time I plant that big species, don't remember exactly for the exact name of this Anubias, look in the description below. I will leave all the names of the plants there. So when I plant this Anubias in a new tank, usually it's adapting to a new environment as all plants, but it's adapting not very well. It almost melts all the leaves. But if you're patient enough, you have to just wait, and then it will actually grow and grow very fast, and probably it will cover the whole surface of the aquarium. In one of my very old aquariums, there is that Anubias covered already all the surface, but it didn't grow for a very long time. It was melting for the first time, and I thought it will not recover, but actually you just have to wait and everything will grow again. I still keep that big rock on that wood because I tried to remove it and the wood is still a little bit trying to float, so I don't want to get that risk and destroy the whole scape. I'm gonna keep that rock for maybe another month or two. Let's see. I will try to remove it in a month again. If the wood stays in water and doesn't flow, yeah, then I can remove it. I also put that light a little bit lower, maybe 10 centimeters lower than it was before, because I thought that it might not enough light for the Saggitaria, for the foreground plant. Now I think it's enough light, and since I put that light lower, I think the plant started growing faster, and Saggitaria photosynthesizing much better with the lower light like this. Alright guys, let's keep in touch and see how this aquarium develops and how it changes, and I think it will look amazing in about 4-6 months. That's all for today, guys. If you like my new rescape, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram and TikTok page, so you will see the changes and development of this aquarium and my other new projects. Also, don't forget to visit my stores, where you can find all the equipment that I personally use for all my aquariums. The link will be in the description below. And I'll see you in my new projects. Goodbye.